Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my SGAC CHASM Winning Essay Prize presentation. My name is Chien Lin Soh, and I am a fifth-year medical student at the University of Cambridge. I'm here to present my proposal for an Analogue mission, FAST, the development of a point-of-care diagnostics pathway for medical emergencies in space. Space medicine has a lot to benefit from the adoption of point-of-care diagnostic technologies. I came across this idea when I noticed the use of ultrasound technology, which is widely adopted extensively in accident and emergency departments on Earth to rapidly diagnose conditions that can often be quite fatal and severe. At the present time, research into space medicine and diagnostic capabilities in space has been explored using ultrasonography, especially with the advances in telecommunication allowing remote-guided ultrasonography for astronauts on board the ISS. Ultrasound technology is reliable, cheap, and has been described in the literature, especially for ocular trauma examinations in the ISS. Although the capability to treat these emergencies are limited, diagnostics gives astronauts the confidence and reassurance that conditions can be correctly diagnosed during missions. Surgical emergencies such as appendicitis can mean life or death without quick intervention, and the additional challenges of facing this on Mars or in space is daunting to consider. You must also consider the potential impacts of spaceflight on human physiology, resource constraints, and lack of expertise. To date, there has not been a surgical procedure performed on space on human subjects, although they have been experimenting on rodents. Potential common surgical emergencies on space missions may include appendicitis, cholecystitis, blunt trauma, chemical burns, orthopedic fractures, and dental problems. And these are the domains that I considered and reviewed while designing the experiment, from literature regarding space surgery to telemedicine, biometry, and the impacts of microgravity. The aims of my experiment are to assess the utility of ultrasound technology for point-of-care diagnostics in space in real time, so to simulate conditions in order to then develop a suitable medical protocol and training materials for common surgical emergencies. Finally, I would like to stimulate discussion and facilitate future research efforts to progress space medicine as a field so that we can protect future astronauts' health. This is the timeline of the research study. The preparation stage will include a preliminary series of reviews to identify the effects of spaceflight on human physiology, common surgical pathologies, and status quo of current ultrasound technologies. With the correct context and background information, we can then utilize the 2-week Analogue mission to fully achieve this mission of developing correct diagnostic protocol. The recruitment stage will then involve international physicians, surgeons, scientists, and expert bodies with experience in ultrasound technology being rigorously selected and recruited alongside participants and laymen as examples. There will be a training program to educate these professionals on the current technologies and anatomy, and a simulation course developed, and a few run-throughs done before the actual study. The 2-week Analogue experiment will then focus on the root cause analysis and the diagnostics of common surgical emergencies through simulations, and in the austere environments of the Analogue mission, 1 per day will be performed for the professionals on board. Access to educational materials, briefings, telemedicine guidance from Earth, and non-expert operators will be provided. Daily briefings and data collection will be done throughout in real time, and data will be collected on the requirements for treatment and logistics of the study. Post-study, the research data will be analyzed and the medical professionals, researchers, and subjects interviewed for their experiences and opinions. Interviews will be matched with surveys, and analysis of the outcomes of each simulation training procedure will be studied. This information will then be used to create a virtual guidance that can be kept on board for future astronauts. The expected results would be increased confidence and better outcomes for surgical emergency simulations in the trained cohort, alongside the development of the training materials and intervention pathways to support clinical decision-making. In addition, the expert knowledge can be instrumental in understanding human physiology in space and approach further applications of ultrasound for fast examinations in longer space missions. However, this doesn't end here. The utility of the experiment can then extend to artificial intelligence and machine learning processing of astronaut health. As missions travel greater and greater distances from Earth and render real-time communication difficult and repatriation near impossible, astronauts that are able to perform autonomous diagnostic procedures with the full confidence that there are established training materials and protocols to support them throughout the journey is more important than ever. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation.